This is factoring or solving quadratics by factoring part 2. So part 1 was the easier factoring, part 2 is a little bit harder, and then actually on day 3 we're actually going to be solving quadratics by factoring, but we've got to know the basics first. So if you have a number in front of x squared, you first check to see if all three of them are divisible by a common number. Then the second way that you do it is you solve by multiplying. To factor this, it's a little bit harder. You have to multiply the first and last. And so 5 times 6 would be 30. Then you have to see, well, what multiplies to give me 30, but adds to give me 13. So you can make your chart and say what multiplies to give me 30, adds to give me 13. For this one, it would be 3 and 10. So then you go back to your original problem and you write 5x squared. Hopefully you're a little neater at your writing than me. And then you do plus 6. You then have to put your 3 and 10 in the middle here. And I'm going to do plus 10x plus 3x because the 3 and the 6 kind of go together and the 5 and the 10 kind of go together. But if I would combine like terms, I would still equal 13. 10 plus 3 is still 13. So I haven't changed my problem at all. I've just broken it up. Then you're going to factor by grouping. And so you're going to combine the first two and the last two. And you're going to say, what's in common between these first two? What could I factor out? Well, I could factor a 5 out and I could factor an x out. So then I would open my parentheses. What times 5x gives me 5x squared? That's x. What times 5x gives me 10x? Plus 2. On the second set, what's in common between 3x and 6? Well, I can pull a 3 out, so I would have x plus 2. If you did it right, the two parentheses should match, and so you have x plus 2. So then we're going to factor out what's in common between this and this. And so x plus 2 is one of them. The other parenthesis is whatever's left over. So if I take out an x plus 2, what's left over is the 5x plus 3. And then that is your answer. Let's do another one. So you have 2n squared minus n minus 1. First thing you do is multiply the first and the last. So you multiply to get negative 2, because that's what 2 times negative 1 is, and you add to get negative 1. So what multiplies to give me negative 2? Well, either negative 1, positive 2, or positive 1, negative 2. This adds to give me 1. This adds to give me negative 1. So this would be my answer. Now I'm going to put the 2 with this 2. So negative 2n plus n. Because I want, when I factor it, I want the minus signs to be in the appropriate places so that my parentheses are the same. So what's in common between these two is 2n, n minus 1. So what times 2n gives me 2n squared? It'd be n. What times 2n gives me 2n, and that's 1. Plus, if you look, there's nothing in common with this n minus 1. It's already exactly like this one. So what's in common between this set of parentheses and this one? And so it's n minus 1. The other parenthesis would be 2n plus, and don't get confused by there's nothing there, but there is something there. Remember that number that's written in front of the parenthesis if nothing's written? It's a 1. And so that would be your answer right here. N minus 1, 2n plus 1. Let's do one more. So we have 6x squared plus 22x minus 8. And so if you notice on this one, there is something in common with all three terms before we start. All three terms are divisible by 2. So I need to take that 2 out. So I have 3x squared plus 11x minus 4. Then you start factoring your problem. The 2 will just keep coming down in front. So you multiply your 3 and your negative 4, so negative 12. What will multiply to give you negative 12? But add to give you positive 11. So negative 1, positive 12, And then that's our answer there. So I'm going to put the -1 with the 3 and the 12 with the -4. So when I factor by grouping, the only thing that's in common with these two is a x. So I still have 3x minus 1 plus the 4 is in common here, and I have 3x minus 1. So when I write my final answer, I'll have this 2 in front, I'll have the 3x minus 1, and then whatever's left would be my x plus 4. I actually might have one more example. Let me see. I do. Let's do one more, and then we'll be finished. Okay, so I have one more problem I want to show you, and it's a little bit harder. So let's go ahead and go over that. 24x squared minus 22x plus 3. So when you multiply the first and the last together, you get 72. It's positive 72. They add to get a negative 22. So that means both things are going to be negative. So you can make your whole list. I mean, just for time's sake, I'm going to kind of cut it short for you. It's going to be -4 and -18. So those are the things that will add to give us negative 22, but multiply to give us a positive 72. So you have 24x squared and positive 3. Now I'm going to put the 4 with the 24, so -4x and -18x. So what's in common here is 4, so I'm going to pull out a 4x, so I get 6x minus 1. What's in common here is going to be a 3, so when I pull that out, I get a 6x plus 1. But if you notice that there's this negative sign in front of the 18, so I'm really taking out a -3. So -3 times positive 6x would give me negative 18x, but -3 times positive 1 would give me -3. So I'm going to have to put a negative sign there. So when I write my final answer, now my parentheses are the same, and so I have 6x minus 1 and 4x minus 3. And that would be my answer. So you just have to be careful with that negative sign, that you're making sure that the parentheses match each other.